All right, 2AEDU. I believe that we're feeding out to the people.
All
Let's
right.
see. All right, so listen. Let me start this off by reminding everyone to go to hankstrange.com, sign up for the email list. Very important for you guys to do that. Lola is putting up deals on there, lots of different things. The best place to find links is actually through hankstrange.com because, you know, on different social media platforms, we cannot post links and all that kind of stuff because all of that adds to the. Oh man, this thing. I gotta get this to focus. Sorry about that. Yeah, that all of that adds to the videos, being suppressed, pushed down, etc. So please make sure you do that. Big shout out to Barnauls for sponsoring the show. Um, Check that out. Barnauls makes performance steel case ammunition. Let's see. Can I, can I get this to focus? And there we go. That's some 9mm subsonic that we have here that I could show you guys if you want. They've got some 300 blackout also. Come on with the focusing. There you go. All right, so check out Barnauls. Big thanks to them for sponsoring the show. I'm going to keep it short. We're going to have fun. We've got a great guest tonight that we're going to get into with it here. Let me load him up on the screen. There we go. All right, let's smash the open. We're going to be right back. Stay right there.
Welcome back to the Hank Strange Situation.
All right, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Smash the thumbs ups. Ring the bell so you can be notified when we go live. There goes the bell. It's kind of going around. It's kind of going around the rim. There you go. Ring the bell. The bells of freedom are ringing, and we are live. We are live. Listen. So 2AEDU, this is your first time on the show. You got to get it started with some jazz hands. Come on. You know that's what the people want to see. Look at that. 2AEDU doing the jazz hands. All right. I hope you guys have your big girl panties on tonight. All right. This is episode 790 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. As I said, our guest is 2AEDU. Welcome to the show. Great to have you here, man.
Hey, awesome, dude. I've been looking forward to this. Been watching your channel for a really long time, and it's an honor to be on here.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. Oh, it looks like we've got a super. Someone just did a super chat. Let's throw this up on here, and
money, 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 money.
There you go. From Gorillas and Guns. This is from Zach Carr. Well, that's Gorillas and Guns singing that. This is from Zach Carr. He says, "Y'all better be hitting that thumbs up." I don't know if that's his accent. I don't know.
It works. Just hit the thumbs up and we'll be fine.
Yeah. Do you ever, when you're reading comments from people, do you ever think of what that person's accent is? Or, I don't know, maybe I'm just weird.
I kind of do. I mean, like when Flying Rich talks, he's Mr. Florida man, but he kind of has that New York accent a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Flying Rich is not only a New Yorker, he's a Long Islander.
Yeah, but he's Mr. Florida man. So
yeah, he's from Long Island. No, he's a complete Long Island dude. Yes, he lives in Florida. He lives in Florida, absolutely. But he's still got a lot of New York blood in him. Yeah, he hasn't gotten rid of that yet. He does wear flip-flops, which is not... That's a Florida thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wears flip-flops all the time. So that's... So anyway, listen, man, it's great to have you here. We're gonna have this whole 2 hours. If folks out there have questions, we're gonna answer their questions. We're gonna talk about whatever we want to, whatever you guys want to. Here's the thing that Lola always makes me do. So I have to do this before she starts texting me, and I get in trouble. She's gonna want me to ask you, who are you? Explain to the people who you are, how you started doing this. If you guys don't know 2AEDU, you need to get up to his YouTube channel. I'm going to throw that up here on the screen while he's explaining that to us. And you need to smash that subscribe button. So.
Yeah. Really, I'm just a regular guy, just like all the rest of you. I cut grass for a living, do landscaping, stain decks. And I'm also, obviously, I love guns. And I've enjoyed guns my whole life. Like I bought my first gun in 1994. And I kind of wanted to start a YouTube channel a long time ago. And then I finally realized, you know what? Enough's enough. This country, the way it was founded, the Second Amendment, which was put there to protect our natural rights that were endowed by your creator. And And if people don't just start speaking out, we can't have the politicians do all the work for us. We all have to become involved, just regular people like me, Hank, and all of you. So that's why I started my channel. I talk about guns. I talk about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and our rights that are protected in the Bill of Rights. So it's pretty much why I'm on here.
Yeah, it's all good stuff, and I think it's good to talk about these things. I don't know how long have you been into guns? Were you like born into this, or?
Yeah, I mean, I started shooting when I was really young off the front porch. My dad's little single shot 22. Bought my first rifle in 1994. So.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Like for me, I'm relatively new, so I've been, my YouTube channel I started like 8 years ago, and I think I've been into guns for my whole life. But when we moved to Florida, I moved here for that reason, and then when we moved specifically to the part of Florida that we live now, I did it because I wanted to like have a range and do all this stuff, and I was sharing my journey with everyone. And I think especially for me, when you're getting into something that's new, it's actually a good thing to do, to share it with people, because that helps you learn. You recognize you don't know everything, and people help you, and if you mess up, people will help set you on the right path, all that kind of stuff. I think it's just a good thing to share. The person sharing actually learns in the process of sharing. Do you find that to be true?
Oh, I completely agree. I mean, I've known a lot about guns for a long time, and I was just kind of keeping it all to myself. But what I've learned about, since I've got to interact with like thousands of really good people on here, tens of thousands of comments, probably every month. I've learned a lot more about like what the culture is in the United States. And I've also learned how complacent people have been for the last almost 250 years. And that's why I've kind of found a niche in my live streams, just reminding people like where your rights come from, to encourage, motivate people to actually sit there and stand up for these rights that we enjoy,
Yeah. It's weird. We can have something, but if you don't practice it, do you really have it? Do you even know it? So everyone in America has, first of all, I think, my personal belief, every human being, just by being a human being, by being born, you have the right to defend yourself. For that matter, man, every single creature that exists on the face of the planet has the right to defend themselves, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But, there's lots of people in America that have these rights that make America so great. They don't even know. They don't know about it. They don't practice it, or some of them think it's a bad thing,
You know what? That's another thing I've learned a lot about. I've never traveled the world. I live really close to Canada, being in Michigan. That doesn't really count, going across, the bridge in Detroit. But so I've basically not left the country, right? And I get these people come in, and they watch from Great Britain. They watch from South Africa. Shout out to the people from South Africa. It's really tough there for a lot of people right now. And they tell me, they're like, look, dude, you just keep preaching it and keep fighting, because if you lose the right to exercise, the ability to freely exercise these God-given rights in America, the whole world's doomed, because a lot of people from other countries aspire to move here someday. Because I believe someone in South Africa has the same rights endowed by their creator as we do. It's just their government wasn't instituted to protect them. Their governments were instituted to give privileges and to restrict. And these people from other countries just keep reminding me, you guys need to hold on, America, because if you go, there's not going to be any other place to go. You know?
The last bastion of freedom in the world. You know what? There's some comments here to you. Let me get to these before. And I would encourage everyone watching us, smash the thumbs ups. If you have questions or even comments like this for 2A I will definitely get it up here. We're going to be here for 2 hours. But for everyone who's in here with us now, help us out. Smash that thumbs up button. We appreciate it. Share it if you can, Rusty Williams, he says 2A followed you over here and now have a new channel that I have subscribed to. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Nice. He's another Michigan guy.
Oh, there you go. Michigan. In the house.
Oh, yeah.
Whammy Gunslinger. This is Gene. He says, didn't he start with a Taurus review? So is that true? Is that
I've done a lot of Taurus reviews. That's what I'm known for a lot on my channel. They're great firearms, great price. What I love about them is, look, our rights shouldn't be for the privilege. You shouldn't have to have large amounts of money. These Taurus guns, before the flu, before all the price, you could buy these for $200 and they work. So I'm a pretty big fan.
Yeah. Cool. Matt Morrison says 2A EDU definitely helped me get my butt in gear X among. I don't know what that means. Gear X among.
What's up, Matt?
Yeah, I don't know. Something here, something there got lost in translation. So there you go. Let's see what else. I'm trying to go through. Oh, here he goes. Here's his thing. He says he definitely helped me get my butt in gear with getting involved locally. Okay, there you go. That's what he was trying to say. All right. So Brass Catcher says Saginaw, Michigan here.
Nice.
So there you go. So you do landscaping.
Oh yeah, I was out there fighting the rain today.
Okay. How is that in Michigan doing the landscaping thing? In Florida, it's crazy because stuff is always growing. How is it in Michigan?
You know, it's kind of the same way here. You know, we're a peninsula. It's always hot and muggy. Rains a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was terrible. Governor Whitmer, you've probably heard of her, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We say she's a real beauty, but in a different kind of way. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was illegal for me to cut grass and landscape all the way in April, all the way in through half of May, which is like the beginning, the prime time of the season. So she literally tried to destroy every landscaping business last year and threatened you with fines or arrest if you went out and cut grass.
And how can you be hurting someone cutting the grass? How does that?
Most of my customers didn't care. They weren't worried. And if they were, we'd talk through the window. They'd slip the payment under the rug. We were totally
it's easy to socially distance or whatever. I don't get it.
You're out there cutting grass. I work in the country for the most part. I'd be out cutting 10 acres of grass, hundreds of acres of farmers' fields on all sides. And the customer told me one day, my police scanner's blowing up. 12 people have called 911 on you since you've been here cutting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So did Whitmer have one of those report people type of things going on in Michigan?
Dude, she's had everything. If you read the book 1984 and then you look at Governor Whitmer, you just say, let's make 1984 fiction again. That's the best way to sum her up. Yeah. Insane.
Okay. Wow. Shout out to Trenchwork Chronicles. I see him out there, Devin. I saw Devin, John Crump, who was it? I saw Kevin
They were all
Dixie.
hanging out with Crump.
Yeah, I saw Kevin Dixie. I saw Tony Simon. I saw Argo J. And I think I saw a Swamp Dog on there also, if I'm not mistaken. It was a bunch of people on there.
Yeah, dude, it was cool. I was listening to all you guys on my way back to the shop, and shout out to Crump and Black Swan Tactical.
Oh yeah, of course, Black Swan Tactical. Listen, you got to wait until Crump gives us money before we say Black Swan Tactical. We don't want to say Black Swan Tactical until Crump I don't even know if Crump's out there. So
well, he paid me. He paid me $2, so I have to.
Oh, I believe that. I know that's not true, but I believe it still.
A carrier pigeon showed up with a rubber band around its tail, and it was $2, and it said John Crump.
Right. Yeah. Don't give him ideas, man. Do not give him ideas. Zach Carr says, hey, 2A EDU, is it true that every time 10mm round is shot that Ted Nugent gets his wings? Okay.
Pretty much. Ted Nugent's a big 10 mil guy.
Yeah. And so Black Guy says the pit in Michigan died. I'm not sure what that means. So that's a Michigan thing. DLD After Dark says, what up, my two favorite people? Right now, I'm just doing all the shout-outs to everyone out there. I hope everyone out there is hitting those thumbs ups for us. Let's see. I'm trying to see. Swamp Dog Armory says, yeah, he was there. What were they talking about? I caught the end of what those guys were talking about. So, what were they talking about?
I don't know. I was in and out. I had to give an estimate. It was raining, then it wasn't raining.
Yeah, I just caught the part where they were mispronouncing Guyana, and I was like,
"Yeah,
damn you people!" You know, can someone? First they were saying Ghana. They would, it's like Ghana's in Africa.
They were razzing each other when I was tuning in.
Yeah, they tried to get me to go on that thing, and I was like, "Dude, I got a show. Have to do a show here in a minute." So, but it looked like they were having fun. Freedom Flash Ammunition said 2A EDU, good man, keep it up.
What's up?
So there you go. And Swamp Dog says it was a free for all, mostly a roast session. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who was getting roasted. Trenchwork says everything and nothing at the same time. So there you go.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That's what we do. That's what we do. It's called burning brain cells.
And that's why I like to get on here and do my streams and talk about what I do. Because look at all these good people in the chat right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you feel about this, but I'll watch them. I call him the former vice president. He's on TV. He's trying to scare all of us. In my opinion, he just threatened us with possibly nukes and F-15s. And he says the Second Amendment's not absolute. We can't have cannons. All these things he says that, in my opinion, is supposed to make you depressed, scared, make you capitulate, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I see all these good people, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not alone. And that's what I always want to keep reminding everyone tonight, and we all need to remind each other we're not alone. There's a lot of really good people out there that believe in this experiment on self-governance, and we really need each other right now. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. 100%, brother. That's the reason why I try to do this, and we do it here on a regular basis. For me and for everyone out there to know exactly what you just said. We're not alone, and we also shouldn't, as you're saying, get bogged down in all these different things that they're doing. It's like it's like psychological warfare of just hitting us all the time. I'm not saying we shouldn't fight. We have to have that balance of fighting back all the time, but don't let the psychological warfare crack you, because then they win.
You're right, they do, because no matter how strong we are, and we need to be stronger than ever right now, they know every single human spirit has like a breaking point, and it just feels like they're wanting to just bombard us with so much garbage that we'll either just act out and be complete fools, or we'll just crawl in a hole and want to die, right?
Yeah. So we've just got to keep our spirits up. I agree with that. We've got to keep each other up as well, and that's why I try to just talk about anything when we're on the show. If there's something really going on in the world and everyone wants to get into it, then we get into it. But I try to have fun and just make it lighthearted and let people laugh and remember that we're still alive. These guys haven't won yet. They're far from that. When they win is when they convince us to give up. That's when we're completely broken.
Right, and that's why, if I may here, I always like to cite this. I usually read the whole thing, but I always like to cite at least this one line from the Declaration of Independence. And this applies to everyone that's watching. It says, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that amongst these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness."
Yeah.
And those are like the three most beautiful things I've ever heard. Like, if you just stop and think about it, if you have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, like, what more could you ever want, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's so many things that it sounds simple, but there's a lot of things that go along with that, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
This is like a pillar that I lean on when I sit there and I hear this former vice president, the governor of Michigan, David Chipman, and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. I'm like, no, look. My Creator, and for whoever's watching, your Creator can mean whatever you want it to mean. It doesn't have to be the Christian guy. You don't have to be Muslim. Whoever created you, right, endowed these to you. So this kind of goes over the former vice president and the governor's pay grade, and I find a lot of comfort knowing that I'll always have these,
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, man. I agree with you. Linda 2A Girl says, and I'm just trying to get some of these comments in before we forget. Linda 2A Girl says, I always watch the live stream on Fridays.
Yes, she does.
Yes. So, I don't know if, let me see, I'm scrolling down here. Greg, shout out to Greg. He says, by his logic, we can buy F-15s. Yes, I totally agree with that. So let me do this. Let me do this here real quick. This is something I want to do before we get into our conversation. I want to share something with someone because these guys, you're going to be hearing about these guys quite a lot here on the podcast in the future going forward. So obviously the folks from Barnauls are sponsoring the show, but we've got some people who are actually going to be coming on board and sponsoring the show, and I want to share them with everyone here. So let me pull this up on the screen so I can go to it. I think everyone's gonna. Do you like free stuff? Do you like?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I like free stuff. I know folks out there like free stuff. So boom, this is what these guys, Tactical Freesh, which it's tacticalfreesh.com, which stands for tacticalfreeshit.com, as you could see. Here's the page. It's basically tacticalfreesh.com. Go online, and then you click on these. They've got 4 giveaways going on right now. So, like, they're giving away a 6-hour Romeo 1 Pro. You know, they have a triple quickie giveaway going on. That's from Hilljack. And they have a lighted up giveaway going on. Let me see, what else? They have a Women Warriors grab bag giveaway going on. All you guys have to do is go on there, click on stuff. Let's see. And if you want to know about them, I know this is new. If you want to know about these guys, you can find out all about them here on the site. For example, here, we are Tactical Freesh, the most badass, encourageable, no-frills place on the web, offering free tactical shit every day. We've got hunting gear, tactical body armor, scopes, triggers, stocks, camo, binoculars. If you want it and it's tactical and it's free, then you've arrived. What's that you say? You don't like Tactical Freesh? Then be gone with you. Away. Stop contributing to the false impressions and skewing the bounce rate of our website, you dick. How dare you waste our precious cost per click pro... Yeah, these guys, if you read through this, man, these guys have a serious attitude problem. But anyway, I think they're having fun with what they're doing, and you guys will hear me talking more about them and sharing stuff. If you want to get some free stuff, go check these guys out. I'm also working on maybe, because if you notice here, if you look at this, they're actually doing some, and I'll go back here in a second. They're actually doing some giveaways. If we go back to the giveaway section of this, they're doing some giveaways right here. This one is with the Women Warriors, and that's a YouTube. There's a YouTube channel with just lady warriors on it, and I guess they've hit 1 million subscribers. So so I think we can get some other people up on here, man. I think I'm gonna probably do some giveaways on Tactical Freesh. If you want to, do you ever do giveaways on your channel?
I want to, but YouTube has some pretty crappy rules with it. But I try to navigate around those.
Yeah. So I think that we will be able to do some things with Tactical Freesh. And when I say we, like whoever out there is interested in this, including
I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah, we can do some stuff. If you got some cool things you want to give away to folks, I can link you up with these guys. You know, and you put this stuff on there, and they'll help you do all that, and then you just tell people to go to Tactical Freesh.
Now hold on though, I think you might be in trouble though, Hank.
Why?
You've been known for a long time as maybe having the best hair in the gun too, with your mohawk.
Oh no.
Then there's that guy with the mullet though.
The mullet. Wait, you want to see the mullet guy?
The mullet that you just showed on there.
Right, hold on a second. You want to go back to this mullet guy? Do you know this mullet guy?
I don't know, but he might have you beat as the best hair now on
Oh, you like that, huh? That's a sexy individual.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. If I could achieve that, I would.
Did you ever have a mullet?
No, I've never been able to attain that.
Yeah, this guy's got a nice suit.
What do you guys think in the chat? Do you like the mohawk, Hank, the mullet, or this guy? I mean, can we have a competition in the chat?
Yeah. Let's see. Let's hear from the folks out there who's sexier. I mean, right now you can't see my mohawk. My mohawk is kind of, it's under there. It's under there. It's not a wig. It's
but you're known for your hair, so.
Yeah, I show off the mohawk every now and then. So you're saying that guy's sexier than me, man? Oh, I can't,
I don't know. He might be. I'm not sure.
I'm kind of hurt now. Now I'm gonna have to grow a mullet. You know what's funny? Yeah, I actually had a mullet back in the days. I know that's gonna sound weird to you.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know. In the 80s. I started growing like a tail. Like I guess it's
like
what
the rat tail.
Yeah, I started growing that.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that where the mullet came from, or am I wrong on that? What is the origins of the mullet?
I don't know what came first. I know they were both pretty fashionable back in the day, and apparently are today too.
Yeah. Someone's going to have to tell us the origin of the mullet, or we're going to have to look it up. Armsman says 2A EDU, great guest. Love his channel. Um, let's see. What was this? LV Louis Cipher says my creator was the flying spaghetti monster. uh, let's see who else. It's TPC says, "Hey, it's Baby Blue Boy." I don't know. Is that what you wear a lot?
Well, I've got a couple colors of these shirts. I've got the gray
Is that
ones
your
and the
favorite?
blue ones.
Uh-huh.
They're like the UV cool dry shirts I work
Right.
in. So yeah.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just trying to see what I'm just trying to see what TPC says that guy looks like Mateo, you know. And Linda 2A girl says, "Where is Mateo?" Mateo. Who is that?
Oh, he's my main moderator on my channel.
Oh, okay. And he looks like that guy?
I don't think so.
Oh,
No.
okay. Don't let me find out.
No.
Yeah.
It's kind of 50-50 in here, the mullet versus the mohawk.
Yeah. Oh, are you seeing? I haven't scrolled down that far. There's a lot of scrolls here. Let's see. Okay, let me go all the way down. Linda 2A girl says the Beastie Boys coined the term mullet. Okay. Interesting. Brian Quick says I remember the rat tail more an 80s thing and mullet more a 90s thing. Yeah. And Zach Carr says Ben Franklin used a mullet to sway the French onto our side. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there's let's see. And TPC says the mullet comes from Canada. I don't know. Well, I'm going to have to look it up. We'll look it up.
See what we started?
Yeah. So now I've got to go search where does the mullet come from?
I don't want to know.
Let's see. Where does... Do you want me to share this? Hold on.
I might be scared.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to come up here. Where does the mullet come from? Okay. That's going to be the fish, though. It's going to be... Okay, here we go. Okay, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, the use of the term mullet to describe this hairstyle was apparently coined and certainly popularized by American hip-hop group Beastie Boys, who used mullet and mullet head as epitaphs in their 1994 song Mullet Head. Okay, combining it with a description of the haircut. Oh, so there you go. And this is this what's the name of this guy right here? Achy Breaky Heart guy?
Is that Billy Ray Cyrus?
Yeah, Billy Ray Cyrus. He's probably the poster child right there. Oh, look at that. Billy Ray Cyrus. Man, that's a long time ago right there. That's a long time ago.
No, that dude that's giving the giveaways is a new poster boy.
Yeah. I didn't know this what's his name had the mullet. What's the name of this Beatles guy? Was it Paul McCartney? Paul McCartney had a mullet. Looks like Native American Indians had mullets. Okay. And what's the name of this actor right here? Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze, yeah.
Patrick Swayze had the mullet. Yeah, Ben Franklin right there. Okay. Oh, here's a famous mullet dude, Tiger King. Okay, yeah, after Tiger King, we gotta stop. I don't want to get too lost in I don't want to get too lost in Tiger King. So Kathleen Music Lover says, "Whoa, 2A EDU in here." You know, a lot of ladies like 2A EDU. I'm noticing that now.
Seems that way.
Man. Blue Girl NC, was also
What's happening, Blue Girl?
Was also shouting you out up there. What's going on here? You're kind of like bait for the ladies.
It's this blue shirt.
Oh, okay. I think that's a psychological thing. People like the color blue. I think that's yeah. 42 Chilled says one of them. Oh, we're gonna get way more trivia about mullets than you really wanted here. 42 Chilled says example of the most striking example of early mullets in history is the Great Sphinx, which is thought to date back 4,500 years, though some geologists believe that it dates back 10,000 years.
Wow.
Okay. So, and Linda 2A girl says that's because you're so cute. So there you go. It's probably the accent too. Yeah. Yeah.
Accent? I didn't know I had one.
Yeah. You got a little bit of a. So you were born in Michigan.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Gregory says they would like him more with a mullet. Have you ever considered? You ever had a mullet?
For wintertime, I'll grow one out.
Wintertime? Okay. Your hair
I'll try.
grows long?
Yeah, I'll try it.
The hair grows out there? Is that what do you got under there? Okay.
Not much, but
hold on, let's go full screen here. All right, there you go. There you go.
a little bit of just
a little
do it myself haircut.
Oh, really? Are you
Oh,
using
yeah.
the Flowbee? Do you know about the Flowbee?
Oh, geez.
Do you know what that is?
You're going to be dating both of us now talking about that kind of stuff.
Was that that wasn't a Flowbee haircut, was it?
No, I've just got the hair clippers with the number 2 guard, and I just...
You just yeah, whatever it
Buzz it
takes
off.
off, that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to suppose doing what you're doing, you don't really want to have like long hair and stuff like that, man. You know? Well, hey, it might be good. It might be a good look, you know? That might be
It
a
could be.
signature thing, you know?
All of a sudden, I'm sitting here fighting the algorithm,
Mhm.
fighting YouTube, and then I grow the mullet, and we wake up, and I'm at like 1 million subs, and,
Yeah,
you know.
dude. You want to blow your channel up? Let's see. Hold on. Let's see where your channel is at today, just so I can remember this. Let's see. Okay, you got 43. Let me share. Let me screen share with everyone. You got 43,000 subscribers right now. Congratulations, by the way. That's pretty
Thank you.
awesome. How long ago did you start this, man? You're doing pretty good.
I've been probably doing videos on the channel for close to about 2 years now.
2 years? Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, considering, like, those are some, like, 2 years ago was pretty rough times to get into this. We were talking about that before we came on.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, and here's what my viewers don't probably even know, and I don't like to just sit here and complain, but
Mm-hmm.
probably about a quarter of the videos that I do, no one ever even sees, because I
Mhm.
spend the time doing the video, I add it, it gets the yellow dollar sign. Then I do my little appeal, and then it still says restricted. Now, why do I want to publish something that's going to be restricted, and they're telling me ahead of time they're going to shadow ban the crap out of it, so I just pitch it and move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think, yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, I'm getting hit up pretty bad lately. By the way, Miss K says, hey, Hank, oh snap, you got 2A EDU on here. I really enjoy his channel. That's a Miss K. See,
Another good-looking lady.
Another lady on the thing. So here's my thing, man. This is how you get into 40 million. This is how you get in there. Okay? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, grow out the mullet. Okay? And when you go do, your landscaping thing, you got to go in a Speedo and a mullet. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, with the guns. I think you do that, it's over. And if you really, really want to do a crazy video that is guaranteed to go viral, I think you in a mullet and a Speedo washing down, like, what do you have, zero turns and stuff? Like, what kind of equipment? Yeah, like just washing down the zero turns and all the landscaping equipment. Mullet flowing, blonde mullet flowing in the wind. You know, a little like America Speedo, like maybe with a eagle on it, like a bald eagle on the Speedo.
Oh, yeah.
It's on.
And a mustache.
Oh, no.
Obviously.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, okay, if you're going to do mustache, you have to go with the Hulk Hogan.
Oh, yeah, the full handlebars.
Yeah. That's yeah.
Uh-oh. Some in the chat aren't happy about that. They said, Ralph.
Yeah, LV Louis Cypher says mullet and Speedo. Mullet, Speedo, Hulk Hogan. You're good, man. There's no way. No, who can resist that?
People say, do you remember when there used to be a guy named Demo Ranch? Because he'll be so small compared,
Yeah, yeah. No one's going to want to look at Demo Ranch anymore.
Like, who's that?
Yeah, it's like I don't know that guy. I want to look at the guy with the bald eagle speedo on there. You know, right now somewhere in Virginia, John Crump is right now making the graphics for a speedo.
I was just gonna say, where's John Crump right now? He's on his computer. He's calling his sources. He's calling his sources within the CIA.
I want my percentage. That's all I know. When that bald eagle, I know the money is going to charity, but I still I want my money. You're gonna have to break me off my. I'm not giving up my percentage of the bald eagle speedo money.
I'll send you $2.
Yeah. TPC says we don't want to see his bald eagle. How do you know? If you haven't seen it, how do you know you don't want to see it? Come on. LV Louis Cypher says I need an eye and brain bleach. There you go. Yeah, that'll be cool, man. Listen, when you do that, you know, do you have tattoos? Because I don't know. Oh, no, you're gonna have to get a tattoo. You're gonna have to get a tattoo now, also.
I'll get a fake one.
What would be the perfect tattoo with that? That's a good question. Now, where do you go? You know,
probably a big like heart that says "Mom" in it on my arm.
That you would go with that?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, I think you guys need to tell us right now what you think. You know, what do you think about that? Let's see. Zach Carr says John Crump might not be at his computer, but I am. Yeah. Somewhere out there's a meme being created of you right now. Oh,
jeez.
Do you have
what did I get myself into?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like the mom tattoo with the heart. That's too classic American. You're gonna need like, we're gonna need to think about this. We're gonna need to workshop what kind of tattoo you need to get. We need to workshop this a little bit. The people out there need to give us good ideas. Let's see. DLD After Dark says Carnicon lower back tattoo.
Ooh.
And TPC says the boy is way too white for tattoos. Brian Quick says dolphin tattoo on the low. Oh, a dolphin also with a mullet.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but you're not from Tampa. I don't know.
No, I'm from Michigan, so it'd have to be like a walleye.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. People from Tampa won't take kindly to you getting a dolphin tattoo. You know, LV Louis Cypher says give him a tramp stamp. Yeah. I don't know. We're gonna have to workshop exactly what kind of tattoo you get. It's too easy to just say some guns or something like that. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Clover Tack. Oh, shout out to Clover Tack. He's out there too. He says I've always wanted a Johnny Bravo tattoo, but the older I get, the less I want one. And Ron Wayne says a zero-turn mower doing a burnout.
Oh, jeez.
Don't tell me you haven't considered that.
I am now.
Yeah. And Ronnie Thompson says, I'm starting to think this is not the channel for me.
We're trying to have some fun.
Yeah, Razor JB, cowboy riding a unicorn carrying lever guns on back.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Yeah, there's two men riding, Paul Kursky says, two men riding a unicorn jumping over a rainbow. This could get, you should do, this is the competition for your site, man. Would you actually, like, all kidding aside, would you ever get a tattoo?
I'm probably not. I haven't really found one that interested me yet, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You might. Do you think you would do something like patriotic in a tattoo, or I don't know.
I don't know, because it's like you sit there, if you had the American flag on today, and then looking at this current administration, you might need to flip it upside down. So then would I be like standing on my head, or you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I think so. I know for a lot of people, even getting the flag is a no-no, right? If you're talking about like flag code and stuff like that.
That's an interesting topic. I mean, geez, we don't need to rehash the whole thing, but I remember you guys talking about on the cover of the magazine how they had the pride flag and
Oh
a lot of things.
with Chris Chang.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
people have like a pretty strict flag ethic. Like if you were to show like the distressed rugged version, some people say that's a no. If you were to do it in grayscale, that's a no. I'm not sure, but I will say this about the flag. This is America, and we do have the First Amendment protection of our natural rights of freedom of speech and freedom of expression. And as much as it pisses me off, a lot of things people do with the flag, I believe it is their right, and I don't have the ability to tell somebody how they're to, express themselves as long as they paid for the flag. Now, you don't have the right to come to my house, take my property that I paid for and burn it. That's a separate issue, but in my opinion, it's freedom of expression, and it doesn't matter if I like it or not.
In terms of what? In terms of burning it?
Yeah, I mean,
or like, because I know for me, and I think the Supreme Court had a ruling on this, right? That people can burn it because freedom of expression. I mean, to me, that's sacrilege. I would rather see a person with the flag tattooed on them than a person burning one.
Yeah, and I'm totally with you, man. Like, I think it's sacrilege. I think that flag represents, not only, the colonists that started this whole thing off, but all of the people, even today, that give their life for this country. People in the armed services, and then people that give their life for this country in other ways. There's many ways you can serve your country. And it pisses me off to no end. However, and this is where it's tough, however, who am I or who are you to try to impose our will on somebody else? Because there could be a time where they say this other flag is what we have to fly. I mean, they're flying other alternate flags at different United States embassies throughout the whole world. And there might be something that we disagree with adamantly, or that we do agree with, but they disagree with. Like, it's all just reciprocal, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, should they burn the U.S. flag? No. Does it
No,
piss
I don't
me
think you
off?
should.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't.
But can they, though, is the real question, right?
I mean, can they? Obviously, like, whenever you get into the question of can someone do something, there's always someone who goes, yes, I can do whatever I want, and they'll be happy to do that. And I think that's all a function of, yes, you can do whatever you want to do. There's things that you shouldn't necessarily do, and that's how I feel about it. Like, that's not something that you should do. Who is it? Like, Usain Bolt had a thing about that, where he was like, he always took time out to respect the American flag, even though that's a very, Jamaican dude, right? But he was famous in the whole world, in Olympics-wise, Usain Bolt, like track star, right?
Yeah.
I think the fastest man, I don't know if he still is, but he took the time to stop and recognize and respect America when it came to the flag or, the anthem and all that kind of stuff. And I think this is how we should be. Right? We should be respectful of other people's things, and, at the same time, people have the right to do something. Someone out there inevitably is going to get a tattoo of the flag burning or whatever. Would I do it? No.
I wouldn't do it. And it appalls me when you have, like, somebody that was just recently, in the Olympic trials, and they're representing the United States of America in the Olympics, and they won't stand for the national anthem, and they turn their head and scoff. I mean, I don't personally like that at all, but it doesn't say that these rights were endowed by your creator, assuming that you like the United States. Like, you can hate America and still actually enjoy its liberties, as tough as that pill is to swallow sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's part of the thing. We don't have to like those people either, right? I think it's...
Of course not.
Yeah, when it goes back to, like, folks taking a knee and all that kind of stuff, I support someone's... You can do that. If for whatever reason that's where you choose to protest and all that, you could do it, and I could also not like it.
Yes, and don't try to make me capitulate. And for me just acting normal like a regular American, don't try to shame me. So if you just want to sit there and take your knee and do whatever, I don't like it. If I owned a football team, I would tell my team to stand for the national anthem. However, like, don't sit there and try to tell me I'm a freak and I'm a weirdo because I want to stand there with my hand over my heart. And that's where I think some of these people have this problem. They want to take liberty to the point where they can express themselves, but then now they want to tell you that you can't do traditional things, and they're kind of being tyrannical in and of themselves, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's true. I think that's true. Once you get up there and you decide to express yourself and do a protest, don't be mad at people protesting you. Like if you're deciding to say this, don't be mad if someone says the opposite. If we're gun guys, I'm not mad at someone who says, "Oh, well, I don't like guns." Fine, you know. I'm gonna get mad if you're trying to take away, like, my right and my ability to defend myself.
Exactly.
Know? You could talk about it, you could say it, you could be what you want to be, those kinds of things. Like what you're saying about Biden, you know, that statement to me that he made, I think clearly is a threat, you know, and that's him laughing at Americans and at the same time making up his own version of history.
Yes, first of all, it's chilling and I think quite astonishing. Like, I don't even hear, as terrible as it is, you look at like China, President Xi. I don't even hear him getting on TV and threatening his own people, thinly veiled threat, whatever you want to call it, with nukes and fighter jets. And this is like a communist oppressive country, right? And they don't even do that publicly.
Yeah, obviously
now,
they do a lot of bad things.
many, many bad things, but I don't see him getting on TV saying that, do you?
No, I don't. And, you know, I think that what we saw from Biden, the biggest thing, like, about that when I saw that was contempt. Like, the tone of contempt in him saying that, it was a deep, you know, that's like something, like that kind of contempt you reserve for your worst enemies. And to think that you've got a president who looks at people who are defending something that's in the Constitution or standing up for something that's in the Constitution with that much contempt, it's scary. And at the same time, yeah, there is no, you know, the folks in China do not have the right, you know, but this is how we quickly wind up like China. You know?
Yeah, their government's not willing to protect the right.
Yeah.
However, in the United States, where, look, it literally says that this government was instituted among men, that the people were supposed to control the government. And then the Bill of Rights, the Second Amendment, it doesn't give us the right to keep and bear arms. It's a prohibition. It says, shall not be infringed, right? So when he's sitting there saying things like, okay, fine, you want to exercise your God-given, natural, you can call them many things, endowed by your creator rights that are protected in the Second Amendment. Oh, you don't have nukes? You don't have F-15s? I wonder if people have really thought about what that actually means.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, China they have done things to their people, right? And they have turned on their people, and they have turned the weapons and stuff like that they have on their people. Most of it, and I see people saying that, will never come out and we'll never see it. But when you see that a president of America has that much contempt for people over something like this, you know, that we're the enemies because we believe in the Second Amendment. Like, we're the enemy of America because we believe in that. It's not far-fetched to believe that at some point in history, there's going to be people that are in that office who actually consider doing those kinds of things. Because that level of contempt coming from him is what I felt like, oh, this guy, you know, if he had to, he'd push the button on doing that to people.
I know, and I hope what I said out didn't come off wrong. I'm not sticking up for China with any of this. I'm actually just using China as an example that if the former vice president is even saying things that make me now correlate him with China, we already have a big problem in and of itself, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I know, man. I got just as upset as you did, I think, over that.
And I would note one more thing he said, too, that people don't talk about much, but I think it's almost just as important. He said, for those of you that talk about the blood of patriots. Now, that was a letter that Thomas Jefferson wrote, that famous Tree of Liberty letter. So they wrote the Constitution. He was traveling abroad, and he was writing a letter back, okay? And this was around 1788. And he was writing a letter back to his friend saying, I hope when the final Constitution's published that it has this, this, and this. And then he goes on to talk about the fact that, look, it's already been 12 years since we wrote the Declaration, and there's already this much tyranny in the country. And then that's when he had the famous line that said, let them take arms. And then he went on to say, and I'm going to misquote it a little bit, I don't have any notes, but he said, from time to time, the tree of liberty must be refreshed with the blood of patriots and tyrants. Mm-hmm. It's its natural manure. So that's the foundation where that whole blood of patriots and tyrants comes from. Mm-hmm. Now, Biden said, for those of you that run around talking about the blood of patriots, and then he says the nukes and F-15s, he missed the second half of the quote. It's not just the blood of patriots. We're not supposed to be just committing like suicide by running into the sword. No, the quote was patriots and tyrants. And he left the tyrants part out. Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's so much wrong, I think, with Biden. But the thing, I think if we think that we won't ever face that in America, it's like Katrina, right? Up until Katrina, a lot of people in America thought that something like that couldn't happen in America. This is supposed to be first world country, right?
Yeah.
Remember that? And I always thought it could happen, but if you've never seen it, and you're like born here in America and you grow up, you think there's something magical about America that stops that from happening here, and then that happened, and this cold hard truth came home to a lot of people that it can happen anywhere. These things can happen anywhere. This is the reason why, the government should be fearful of the people that they serve. This is the reason why the people should always have the right to have cannons, F-15s, nukes, whatever, because ultimately the government doesn't have those things. The people have those things, right? And
the power is supposed to be inherent in the people.
Yeah, but the idea that, oh, that's something that happens in other places and it'll never happen here, and even someone like Biden saying that it'll never happen here, no, nothing is guaranteed to anyone. A perfect example of that is I woke up this morning, and in the news, I don't know if everyone knows about this, but woke up this morning in the news, Haiti's prime minister assassinated.
Wow.
In his home. Let me see if I could pull that up, the particular article. So I think I have that somewhere here in my notes that I could pull it up, right? So this is the thing that I think that a lot of people need to look out for. That's things that are happening in the world. Let me see where I'm trying to pull this up. You guys have seen this though. Hold on, let me see.
Okay, we were talking about. I'm sorry. Go on.
No. Here, let me see if I could pull this one up here. Okay, it's gonna take a minute, but basically, so Haiti's. I think it's the prime minister. Let me see. Here we go. Yeah, president of Haiti. Jovenel Moïse, 53, is assassinated by gunmen claiming to be DEA agents speaking in English and Spanish in a nighttime raid on his house that also left his wife seriously injured. I saw somewhere that his wife got airlifted here to America. So this is all what they're saying. A group of foreigners, some of whom spoke English and Spanish, broke into Mr. Moïse, I think that's how you pronounce it, home in the hills above Port-au-Prince at around 1 a.m. on Wednesday, according to a statement by the country's prime minister. The 53-year-old was shot dead. The First Lady Martine, 47, was left fighting for her life after what PM Claude Joseph called a hateful, inhumane, barbaric act. And it goes on. But one of the things is, this guy basically is like a dictator, right? Yeah. He's ruling by decree, refusing to run elections and things like that. Haiti is not far from America, and one of the places that Haiti's been going through this for a long time. But here's a guy. He's a dictator of a country, right? He must have some kind of security.
Yeah.
You would think it would be difficult to get to this guy, and then you're forcing yourself on the country, so you think you had at least doubled or triple that security. But for whatever reason, wherever it came from, whoever it was that did it, someone got to this guy.
Well, and that's where it talks about right in the Declaration of Independence here too. This is just human nature, you know. It says, "But when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursue invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government." Well, they threw him off today. Our founding fathers threw off the mightiest military superpower there had ever been at that time. You know, the British Navy, the British Army. It was huge, right?
Yeah.
So I think what we're seeing here is like Haiti seems like way different than the U.S. in a way, but this comes back to where at the end of the day, people are just people, and laws of nature are always going to be laws of nature, and people, I think, are always going to have the urge to throw off despots, right?
Yeah, and Haiti is a long, excuse me, a long, complicated thing to get into, right? And I'm from the Caribbean, but I'm from Guyana, and I think in the, so like, let's say we're talking about the whole slavery thing, right? I know that's probably some of what these guys were talking about on their chat earlier that they had, or something around that. But let's say we're talking about that whole thing that happened here in America. It happened in the Caribbean, places like Haiti. Haiti is one of the first places, like the people in Haiti rebelled against the slave owners to get their own freedom. That's one of the, if you look into Haitian history, that's something that a lot of Haitians are proud of. But so how come, you know, and that's a good thing. This is what we all should do. We should all rebel against anyone that would seek to enslave us. Anyone who seeks to enslave other people forfeits their right to live, in my opinion, right?
I agree. That's a natural urge to be free.
Yes. So it's a great thing that Haitians did that. And yet somehow they're having this struggle, like, of coming into, like, a country being so close to America, even a country that's on the same island, the island of Hispaniola, where Haiti is the same landmass as the Dominican Republic. And if you look at the Dominican Republic and Haiti, which are two halves of the same country, of the same island, you know, it's like a stark difference, like night and day difference. Why is it that this country can't, you know, why can't they find peace? Why can't they move forward? Why can't they develop? There's a lot of things that go into that. There's a lot of things that go into it. But the biggest part of it is the people of Haiti don't take responsibility, or don't get to take responsibility, maybe because of America tampering with what's going on in Haiti, maybe because of other countries tampering with it, but they don't get to take responsibility for their own selves.
Right.
So they're constantly finding themselves in some state of disarray. You know? And this is what makes America, I think, different than a lot of other countries. Just to bring this to, like, what I'm trying to bring full circle to you. This is what makes America different. We, the people of America, are supposed to take responsibility for America. Okay? And ultimately, if we have to, if there's tyrants and despots ruling in America over the people, it's the responsibility of the people to rebel against that.
Absolutely. The Declaration didn't just say it's your right, it's your duty. And when they added that to it, it's not just like you can do it, but you don't have to.
Right.
They're basically saying what's required to keep America free is for us to fight back against despots and tyrants, right?
Yeah, yeah. And the reason why I'm saying it, because ultimately, like, if we look at a place like Haiti, people are going to feel like some other country should do something about this. No. The people, here's what I'm saying, and I'm talking to you as someone who grew up with a lot of Haitian people. I've never been to Haiti, okay? I'm from the Caribbean. I understand what it is. I grew up with a lot of Haitian folks. You know, I live in Florida. There's a lot of Haitian folks around here. And it might hurt some people's feelings. I feel the same way about the country that I was born in. Ultimately, the people there have to take responsibility for themselves, for the future of themselves and their children and their grandchildren. They have to be willing to die and fix the country instead of someone coming from the outside and fixing what's going on there. No one else can come in and fix this for you. You know?
I agree, because there's always like a quid pro quo. When Biden says, I will give you this, I'll give you that, but then he wants to take your guns. So the United States might say, well, we'll give Haiti this, but then they want something back. And it's usually,
Yeah.
I've noticed most of the time, the people they're trying to help are usually, even in this country too, are usually just their little pawns that they're using to trade, to fight like different proxy trade wars or whatnot with, right?
Yeah, it's always a game. Someone else from outside. And to bring it back from what's going on there, that's just an example. For us here, we have to fix our problems. Someone from the outside can't come in and fix it. You can't magically deal with things. You could take let's take the individual states in America that are going through crazy stuff. Someone in the chat earlier was talking about New York City. So Cuomo now, what was it? He's declaring like some kind of state of emergency or something in New York City, like gun violence.
Yeah,
right?
gun violence state of emergency has been declared.
Yeah. In all of this, you're going to hear them blaming everyone except themselves.
Of course.
Everyone except themselves. Ultimately, in New York, if you have a problem, which I think there is a legit problem, right? But you're talking about one of the most restrictive states when it comes to gun rights. When it comes to the Second Amendment, you're talking about one of the most restrictive states. That is not working for you. The criminals there don't care. Only the law-abiding people follow the laws, these unconstitutional laws that New York City has in effect there, and it is not curbing violence. And the folks out there who are following the laws, I know there are people, I've got family that lives in New York, there are people who have guns and they've done everything legally and all that kind of stuff, and they're they have to jump through hoops to buy ammo. You have to get a license to buy every single gun, right? You know, getting a permit to carry concealed in New York is next to impossible, right? It hasn't solved anything. Who's going to save New York? The people of New York have to save it, and they have to start with getting rid of people like Cuomo.
Absolutely, because Cuomo and all his people, they still have guns. And, you know, we talked about China earlier. Well, Mao, that's probably the darkest side of China in recent history. Under the Mao regime, they say he killed over 100 million people when he was in power. That's what communism does, by the way. Mao said all political power comes from the barrel of a gun. And I think it's interesting that they want to disarm the good people, because good people inherently don't need laws. We're just going to do the right thing because we have a moral compass. Bad people, they're not going to follow laws because they just are bad. They don't have a moral compass. So at the end of the day, they're not taking criminals off the streets and all these talking points. They're actually just making people, in my opinion, where they can't fight the tyranny of some of these governors and mayors. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they're just they're creating this situation, or taking out of this bad thing that happened, setting aside money to use against what? To do what with? Right? To give themselves more money, more power, go after more innocent people, to never go after the criminals. Allow the people. I grew up in New York City. Been mugged, robbed, all that kind of stuff. I've been robbed by police officers in New York City. By cops. Okay? So the thing is you have to allow the people of New York City to defend themselves.
Yes.
Why do we not have a problem like that in Florida, which Florida has the whole entire Florida has the population of New York City? Okay? We've got some gun laws here that I'm not happy with, but you have a lot of guns in Florida. Why do we not have that problem they have in New York City?
Well, it's money. See, here's how I think about it, and you would know this more than me, so let me ask you if I'm onto something here. So, they want more money. They want more taxes. Money, money, money. That's what the root of all evil. It corrupts everything, right? So, if I'm out here in the middle of the country, no one's ever tried to rob or mug me or do anything even once, I could say, well, hold on a minute. I need like 2 sheriff's deputies at the most to patrol this 100 miles, and that's all we have, and that's all I need. However, if you're in New York City, crime's up, there's rape, there's all these violent drug dealers, there's gang wars, you're afraid to step out of your house. Then they come in and they say, I'm from the government, I'm here to help, just pay us a little more and we'll protect you from this violence. So to me, they disarm you to victimize you, to make you scared, so then they can tax you more, fine you more, take more money from you. Is it something
Yeah,
like that? You think?
it's money and power for sure. It's money and power for sure because they don't want to give you the power to defend yourself. They want to have control of that power, and they want to say, okay, now we're going to get even more cops. But you don't need more cops. New York itself needs less cops, better trained, better vetted in the first place, better trained, right, and better supervised. But they need less cops. Okay, they don't need to spend more money on that. Allow the people of New York to defend themselves. Allow the hardworking, innocent people who can't get out of there to defend themselves against all these criminals that are running rampant in New York, no matter how many cops you get. Okay, and let's be honest, like, what are the cops going to do when you have a New York City where people could just throw stuff at the cops? Right?
Yeah, I know.
mean,
I've seen that with impunity.
yeah, what's more cops going to do? Allow the people of New York to defend themselves. Give back the people of New York their Second Amendment rights, and the criminals are going to have a tough time.
Oh, I agree with you. I mean, our country's been protected not only from criminals. Look, you look at these cities, states that have less restrictions. There shouldn't be any, by the way. It says shall not be infringed. But people don't just randomly break into homes out in the country because they're pretty sure there's going to be something behind that door that could blow their face off, right?
Yeah.
They go to the gun-free zones. They go to the schools. They go to the malls, all these different places where it's a, quote, gun-free zone. They walk in there, do what they're going to do, and then the city comes back out and says, look at the crime. There was a shooting. You need more police, higher taxes, more government. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, it's there's no way to fix this. I mean, if you look at I don't know if you ever heard of 6ix9ine the rapper. You ever heard of that guy?
Not familiar.
Yeah, he's this crazy. You know, the kids nowadays. I don't know if you're even into rap music, but in my day, rappers were. This is sounding funny coming out of my mouth, but they were more respectable in the way that they looked or dressed. So 6ix9ine is the rapper who is this young Latino kid, and he's got like 6ix9ine tattooed all over his face, a whole bunch of tattoos all over his face and body. He acts like he is badass or whatever. So anyway, here's the reason why I'm telling you this. That guy got arrested on gun charges, right? There were things going on. He was in a gang. The gang took all his rap money and then tried to kill him. And then when they tried to kill him, he managed to get away and then went and turned on them and all that kind of stuff. But there's gun charges and all that went behind it. Ultimately he beat all those charges by testifying against the other guys. He's out on the street. He's back in New York City. So what is New York saying that it's going to do? You're not going to do anything about the bad guys. This is a guy in New York City with illegal guns, showing them off in music videos. He took out hits on people and did all kinds of stuff. And you let him back on the streets. I don't, whatever happened, all of those guys should go away and never be seen again. But he's back on the streets, and so are lots of other criminals. And meanwhile, the law-abiding people of New York City cannot defend themselves against these people. The only people who can have guns in New York easily are cops and criminals.
And a couple billionaires that are well connected, right?
Yeah. So,
It just seems like to me, and I wanted to ask you this, and maybe we can dovetail into you telling a little bit of your story for a lot of people who just are meeting you today. But you have a lot different background than I do, and I think it's an interesting one. Do we have like two different Americas right now? I mean, is it like someone in the chat was saying congested cities? You're out in the country and other places, like what's going on with that whole, like, because there's a huge difference in dynamics, isn't there, depending where you live? Okay.
I like where you're going, that you wanna turn the tables on me. That's cool. I like it. By the way, Smash Time is out there. He says it's not now. It's a party.
What's happening, man?
I think, I hate this. I hate to admit this, but we probably have several Americas. We shouldn't. And I'm not saying, like, I love the diversity of America. If you travel around this country, it's the reason why I got my van. I spent the first part of my life traveling all over the world. And I've gone around America, but I got this van so I could travel around and see the beauty of America and all these different ecospheres, or like all these different places in one country. So that I'm all about, right? I like the diversity spread out across of America, but we should have one America. Everyone in America should have should have access to the Constitution. Everyone
Yeah.
should have access to opportunities and the law. We're all different. We're not the same, but we should be the same under the law.
Yes.
So I would agree with you. Unfortunately, we have I think more than one America. There's more than like two Americas. There's lots of different Americas, and in a bad way. You know, Rodney Brady says America was never truly united.
And that might be okay. Like you said, this diversity is good. We don't want to always just march to the beat of the same drum because, look, it can be a Republican could become tyrannical. A Democrat, I'd say, certainly has gone tyrannical on the Second Amendment. But here's the crazy part. If you look at this, the founding documents, the Declaration of Independence, it doesn't say anything in there about, like, certain types of people and this and that. It says all of us are created equal and we're endowed by our Creator. So we should all be equal underneath these core fundamental rights, right?
I think we should be treated equally in the eyes of the law, and I think we should be united when it comes to the foundation of what America is, and this is what will lead to us moving forward, right? If we continue to move forward. So I don't think America came from a perfect place. Nothing's perfect. Nothing starts out perfect. But I think to me, America, as you said, like from someone coming to America from outside of America, America is, when you compare it to the rest of the world, the only place I want to live on the face of this planet. And the place I was born in is a beautiful, Guyana is like about, I think 75% Amazon jungle, has beautiful people, great diversity, but that's not the place that I want to live. And I think that we should be united. We don't have to agree on everything. We don't have to all follow the same religion and all that kind of stuff, but we should be united when it comes to what makes America, and the Constitution is a massive part of that. And the idea that we're going to take the Constitution and throw it out is scary, and I think that's, why we're headed for a bad place instead.
Yeah, and things like the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, prohibiting the government, at least at that time, from having any infringements. So most countries don't have that, right? Isn't it like a privilege at the very most in the rest of the world generally?
The right to be armed, the right to defend yourself. Yes.
Yeah, is it a right or is it a privilege that you beg and pay for?
Yeah, in a lot of places it's not a privilege that you have at all. So for example, where I come from in Guyana, you cannot have guns unless you're in the government. Unless the government says you can have it, you can't have it. If they feel like you have guns, they have the right to go into your home to look for them. It's a place that traditionally has made the people of that country afraid of guns. So therefore, the only people that have it is perhaps people in the military, police, and the people who control them, which would be the government. So, and that's not the only place on the planet. I mean, we're talking about first world countries that even the cops. So, for example, in England, you have to be a special cop to get a gun.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And there's lots of places like that. So, no, it's not even a privilege that you can have, And there are lots of guns around the world. And I think even in a place like England, you can ultimately have them under certain circumstances. But it doesn't even rise to being a privilege.
So what about in, pardon me, I'm actually ignorant to this, but I'm interested. Okay, so Guyana, is this like a former colony, or can you tell me what Guyana is just real briefly?
So basically, yes, Guyana is a British colony. So, to go back into the history would be way too long, but basically, it is a colony of England. The people who, the first language is English. My parents were born British citizens. Okay. So up until like a couple of years before I was born in the early 70s. So up until like the mid to late 60s, the people of Guyana were all British citizens. They were born British citizens. So I'm not sure what else you want to know. To give people an idea out there about Guyana, it's like 49% of African descent. That would be Africans came there as slaves, like a lot of people of African descent here in America. They came from the same place. You'll find a lot of people here in America, in the Caribbean, in places like Guyana. If they do a genetic test, they'll find that their bloodline goes back to West Africa. That's an indication that you came from slavery. The slaves that were here and in the Caribbean are West Africans. So on your genetic test, it will say Nigeria, Ghana, that kind of thing. West African nations. That's where slavery came from. So that's 49%. The other 49% is Indian, because basically when the British made slavery illegal, they still had to keep slavery going because Guyana was mostly plantations. There's a lot of, England was looking for spices and all that kind of stuff, right? Tea and tobacco and trees and things like that here in America. The same thing in the Caribbean. So Guyana has a lot of gold. Lots of resources like that, lots of sugar cane, that kind of stuff. So they still needed basically slaves to work on the plantations, but they couldn't have slaves, so they got a lot of people from India, and they called it, instead of slavery, indentured servitude. So in other words, you came to Guyana, you came to Jamaica or Trinidad or whatever for 7 years, you worked on these plantations, then they freed you and they gave you land. Except a lot of those people that wound up over there were tricked. Basically, if you were in jail, they took you and dropped you off. Or if you ran away from your parents or something and they found you, they took you and dropped you off there. So that's 49 and 49, and then 2% of Chinese descent. And that's what you basically have going on in Guyana.
So I know a little bit just due to my firearms collecting. So obviously Britain, I don't know if I want to say colonized, but at least had power over India for decades, because they had the Ishapur India plant that made Enfield rifles to the British specifications. So basically, I hope you guys are listening to what he's talking about here, because I think this has a lot to do with. Anyways, we'll just go a little further, and I think it'll click for everyone where I'm heading with this. So hold on a minute. This is like essentially like they were still doing this in like the 1800s, 1900s. Like, how long was this stuff going on over there?
I would have to go back and look and see exactly when England ended slavery. They ended it before it was ended here in America. Okay. So the British opposed slavery in America, right? Obviously. But it's a weird thing that people need to realize, like, they opposed slavery in America because at that time in America, slavery was the easiest way of getting these resources out of the ground, right? That's what it seemed like. It's actually a very expensive workforce. Slaves are an expensive workforce. These are human beings, people who are not treated like human beings, but you still have to secure them to keep them working for you. You have to feed them, otherwise they're going to die, right? So there's all these. It was really a tough thing to do, but England didn't want America doing it. They opposed it. But to them, they just came up with a different word for it and continued to do it in their colonies, because they were still taking all the resources out of the colonies. But they couldn't do that to America anymore, right?
Yeah.
But they still wanted it. Eventually, what happened in Guyana is what happened all around the world. At one point, England basically ruled the world. If you think about it.
The sun never sets on the British Empire, was they're saying.
Exactly. But once they got a lot of these resources out of countries, they decided, now we've got to be responsible for the people. So they started either just giving a lot of these countries their sovereignty, or convincing the people that they needed to go for their sovereignty. So one example of that, like my parents, my dad did not want Guyana to claim its sovereignty and become independent from England, because he was like, we're going to be in trouble. Once we do that, they can, like, they can just say, hey, we're not responsible for you guys anymore. And to prove that, the way that I wound up living in England is that my dad went there to go to school, and he got a master's degree in England. And he didn't want to leave. We all went to England, and he didn't want to leave and go back to Guyana. And my sister was born there, so she's a British citizen. And the government told us at that time in the late 70s, they said, you have to leave. You have to leave. It doesn't matter. You have to leave. You could leave your daughter here, but you have to leave our country. You leave her here, we'll put her in an orphanage, but you have to go. And that's how we all, that we had to leave England.
Oh, you had to leave England. Okay, could you go back to Guyana if you wanted?
Yes, we could have gone back. He didn't want to go back because, it's a communist slash socialist place. And we wound up going to live in Nigeria where my dad taught for a while. And then we eventually came to America. But this is what, like when we see now, you'll see right now, especially when you see the royalty. I have no kind of good feelings for royalty, right? But we'll see right now a prince of England left England, right? He wasn't happy in England. He married a black woman. He somehow wasn't happy. He left England, went to Canada, which is still part of England, technically, and still wasn't happy there, and came to America and is complaining about America. And the thing is,
complaining about our Bill of Rights.
Yeah, and the thing is, this is one of the ironies of places in Europe and places like England. I remember I have a family that lives in England, like during when Obama was first running for president, and they were like, "Oh, you know what? It's about time America had a black president." And I don't care what the color of the president is. But the thing I said to them was like, yeah, that's true. America needs a black president. Just like in England, you guys have a black prime minister. And they were just like, what?
No
because it's never happened. So there's this is one of the things that happens. Like a lot of our for America, a lot of countries that hate America, try to say, oh, America should do this, you should have this, and then they themselves never did it. They've never had it. It's just a way of like bringing down what they consider like an enemy in the first place. And a lot of people here in America buy into that bullshit.
Yeah, they do. And I think what happens is that some people were born here and they just kind of take this stuff for granted, like, oh, we'll always have this and that. So you said Guyana, physically beautiful, wonderful people that live there, rich in natural resources. Okay, so at the end of the day, why are you and Lola not living there right now? For example, raising your family.
Oh, okay, good question. Let me answer something real quick from DLD After Dark. He says, "Damn, that's cold. Did your sister get to come with you?" Yeah, my parents didn't leave my sister behind in England. We all went to live in Nigeria, and we came here. So my sister grew up in Brooklyn, and she's 100% Brooklyn. You can't tell any difference. So now you're asking me about myself and Lola. Lola's not from Guyana. Lola's from Ghana in West Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll let her answer for herself while she's over here. For me, my family's here because this is freedom. America represents freedom. And when my mother and my father decided that they didn't want to be in Guyana anymore, they left the country that was a beautiful country where they were born, where they grew up. My parents actually had pretty good jobs there, but my dad has a story. He said, and he worked for the government. My dad was actually in charge of infrastructure and building things. He said that he had one pair of shoes, and he wore through those shoes. And when he went to the shoe store to buy a new pair of shoes, it would have cost him what he makes for like 3 months to buy shoes.
Wow.
Okay, this is a guy with a government job. And he realized that he didn't want his kids to grow up in a... This is the effects of socialism. So you can have all these beautiful things. Look, Haiti is a beautiful place. It's the same place as the Dominican Republic. The people of Haiti are beautiful. I already said to you guys that I grew up with a lot of Haitian folks out there. It's a beautiful place with beautiful people. But what does that mean if you're not free?
It doesn't mean anything. So, there was awesome people, probably neighbors, friends, family, everybody that your dad loved, right? Mm-hmm. But he was willing to leave that to try to get a taste of freedom for himself and his family is what I'm kind of hearing, right?
Yeah. My mother passed, so my mother has never seen her family ever again because my parents never went back. Actually, for my dad, because he was in charge of infrastructure, they sent him to England in order to get his master's degree, which he has one in metallurgical engineering, and that was going to be part of building up the country. But he went through a lot of stuff to be able to take all of us, because they never let you go with your wife and kids, because then it's guaranteed you're not coming back. So they
Yeah.
went through a lot of stuff for us all to go, but he never had an intention of going back. He just didn't want us to grow up there, to live there and have to deal with that. So,
I think that's interesting.
yeah. Yeah. By the way,
Not,
your
not in
buddy,
a good way, just
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, John Crump Live is out there. He gave us a couple of bucks. Thanks for that.
Money, 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 money.
He says, where can I get that awesome FFOA shirt and that 2A EDU hat?
Black Swan Tactical.
Oh, no, he says, okay, there you go. Yeah, Black Swan Tactical, there you go.
I can
hold on.
shout him out because he gave me $2. Remember?
Yes, right, absolutely, yeah. James Miller says, I've been to Haiti and my cousin's husband is Haitian. Hank's right, there are some beautiful people there. Absolutely. But Rodney Brady says Hank is free. He says Haiti is free. The problem is every group on the island wants to be chief. Then the people are not free. I understand what you're saying, but the people of Haiti suffer the most from all the stuff that's going on. Ultimately, are the people really free if they're caught in the middle of America and other countries and their interests playing a part in Haiti, and then the people who control the government and all that kind of stuff? Are the people really free if they're caught up in the middle of that? I don't know. I'm gonna say no. So, but once again, I'm not a Haitian, and I understand that. Like, I feel, it's easy to feel pride for the place where you were born, and I'm proud of being born in Guyana, and I understand my heritage, and it's a beautiful place with beautiful people, and massive amounts of. I have my one of my father's brothers owns gold mines in Guyana. So what the hell am I doing here?
Nice.
It's obviously not nice. The point I'm trying to make to you.
Well, it would be nice to get some of that gold.
Do you know where he lives? He lives in the Bronx.
Guess.
He lives in the Bronx. He doesn't live there. You can have all these beautiful things, but if other places, like, so for example, Guyana right now is basically controlled by the Chinese government and Colombian drug lords. Like, what is the point? What is the point of you owning this paradise in this country controlled by other people, where the person with the most money has the rights and the laws on their side, or whatever it is, right? Like, whoever can it's the golden rule. Whoever has the most gold, and even a guy who has gold mines, it's not enough for him to be there and be living there. This is so for example, Guyana they just discovered a lot of oil off the coast of Guyana. You know who's going to benefit from that? BP or Shell, other big massive companies, because those companies paid off the people running the government to get access to this oil, and the people are very unlikely to benefit from all this oil money that exists there. So
this
then what's
sounds
the
a lot
point
like,
of it?
This is starting to remind me, I'm not painting in broad strokes, just kind of narrowly here. This kind of reminds me of Venezuela. Rich in oil, at one time had more per capita wealth than basically anywhere on earth, and now they're eating out of garbage trucks. And this is literally what happened with communism. Now, I would note they also had a door-to-door gun confiscation. I've had a couple Venezuelan viewers that are old enough to remember. It was sometime around 1976, 77. They came through, door to door, picked up all their guns, and then in the following decades, went through and put in full-fledged communism.
But guess what, man? America is beautiful too. America has beautiful people.
Yes.
But what is it going to benefit us if we're not free? If we're here in America and we're not free, and other people get to dictate to us what we do, how we live, who we are, where we can go, where we cannot go. If other people get to say, well, you're guilty because of your skin color, you're guilty. You're guilty if you believe in guns. You're guilty if you like combustion engine cars. You're guilty if you don't marry this person or do this thing or do that thing. Then how beautiful is it? It's not. If you're under those circumstances, and the people who have the power, they're not beholden to any of the laws, but they use the laws against you to crush you. Then what do you have? Do you have something?
But everywhere else in the world where we see them experiment and then usually put in communism. Look, socialism, communism, it's really the same thing in the end. all these other places in the world that have done this, it always fails. It's always a lower standard of living. But now we see people, we're going to come for your guns. We want everyone on a universal income. No more gasoline engines in your car. We hate this color of people. Then a few months later, they hate a totally opposite color of people. Why are they striving towards this when we know it sucks everywhere in the whole world that does it?
Yeah, because this is how you control the masses of people and you get them to do things that they never thought they would do is by taking away their identity, creating confusion, separating everyone, right? And making everyone think that everyone else is the enemy. And then you become the king because they look to you for you to make decisions for them. Eventually they give up all identity. They have no clue, no idea of what's wrong or right. And they look just to you. They're like your pets. You know, it's a form of mental slavery, and it's happened around the world, and other people think that they're happy or think that they're free or something like that, and they're not. They're not. You know? Why is it that everyone, all the famous people, including the royalty of England, want to live in America? What the hell was that about?
They want to live here, but then they want to talk trash about it and try to turn it back into where they just left.
Yeah. And even a prince of England, the Queen of England is one of the wealthiest people on the face of the planet. Their wealth comes from Africa and India and America, all over the world. Why is he so unhappy? Why can he not live in England? And why can he not live in Canada? Why does he have to go live in Hollywood? And then why is he still complaining about America when he made the choice recently to come live here?
Oh, I know, it's so contradictory. It almost requires the listener to be dumber than the speaker. I don't know why people even... Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, though. Okay? Born in Guyana, lived in England, then went to New York, which has become so crazy, some people would say that even feels like you're in another country. In some instances, okay? I'm not putting down New Yorkers, but... You know what I'm saying, right?
New Yorkers believe that New York City is the capital of America and the world. So,
but they have 10-round magazine limits, and you can't concealed carry, and
they have worse things than that. Yeah, I mean that's pretty bad. I'm not poo-pooing it. That's pretty bad, but they have worse things than that. Oh, hold on one second. Actually, let me get this comment up there. This is from Smash Time.
Money, 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 money.
Gave us $5. Smash Time says. He says, one of the best Hank Strange podcasts of all time. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. 2A EDUs.
Thanks, man.
Awesome guest. Well, yes, go ahead. Yeah, hit me with it.
Let me ask you this, and I'm sincerely asking you this because I couldn't even dream to answer it. If you can't, sorry for the ridiculous question, but okay. Born in Guyana, moved to England, New York City, Florida. I might have missed one, but...
I lived in Nigeria for a couple of years.
Nigeria probably has next to no gun rights.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's there's a lot of guns there, but no, not a lot of gun rights.
Okay, so why are you here? Just as American as apple pie. I can't tell the difference between you and me the way we're talking, even though I was born here in Michigan, never left. Now, why are you not trying to turn Florida or the United States into Nigeria or England or...
Because I lived there. Because I lived there. If it was because I lived, as in past tense, I lived there. If it was so, if Guyana was so awesome, I would still be there, right? I mean, if England was so amazingly fantastic, I would still be there. I'm an American citizen now, so I guess I can go live anywhere in the world. If Nigeria, and I really did enjoy my time in Nigeria, but if it was so fantastically awesome, I would live there. If where my wife is from in Ghana was so amazing, I would be living there. I'm living here because the promise of America is a beautiful one. The history of America is not perfect, but the history of the planet is not perfect. And America's history is incredibly young. I think a lot of people get overly caught up in the past of America for good reasons and bad reasons, and forget the fact that America is a young nation on the face of this planet, right? Several hundred years old. And, you know, we're talking about there's nations that are older than our calendar.
True.
Right? So,
before this current calendar existed.
Yeah. So the thing to me that is beautiful about America is that, you know, as there's for sure bad things and things we need to deal with and make better, and there's bad
Yeah.
people, and all that kind of stuff. There's things that I complain about, but I don't think in any of those places that I've previously lived I would have this opportunity that I have right here. And me myself, I have proven that, right? I've lived
Yeah.
that. It's not just something like I'm not in the stage of, oh, I'm coming to America. I think my family came here for that opportunity, and I think I'm living that opportunity. And for sure, my children are benefiting from that opportunity. And you know what it takes is hard work. Like I understand why there's lots of people who are here in America and were born here and they're not happy. I get
Yeah.
it. You know, a lot of
Yep.
those people look like me. But I'm not happy with the place that I came from, because even though everyone looks like me there, I could not do this and I could not accomplish the things that I have here in America so far in those places.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted you to share this story a little more tonight because, obviously, it's your show. You don't want to keep telling your story every week, but
Hmm.
I've heard you tell these stories over the years, like years and years ago, and I wanted everyone listening tonight to listen to what you're saying because I think a lot of Americans just sit there and rest on their laurels and say, well, this is just the way it is, and what do I have to lose, and all of that. Well, here's the thing. There's beautiful things all the way across the world. Awesome things. Great people. When we say, like, we don't want to be like the rest of the world, at least I'll speak for myself here. When I say I don't want to be Great Britain, I don't want to be this, it's not because there's not very fine people that live there. There are. What I mean is I want to be in a country that was founded based on the fact that we have rights that were endowed to us by our creator, and the only reason the government would be put there is to protect our rights.
Hmm.
That's literally why the government exists. Was it ever perfect? No. Is it just an idea? Maybe to a point it's an idea, and it was never as perfect as what they laid it out. I get that.
Hmm.
But there's other places across the world that are probably a lot worse, right?
Hmm. Absolutely. Listen, the to me, the idea was a near perfect one. The idea of America, I'm sorry, my light here is probably a little bit too bright. Let me dim that a little bit. The idea of America was a near perfect one, but not a perfect one. Our
Right.
job is to make it better. Okay?
Yes.
So just to give you an example with my dad's a pretty terrible guy. But he always told me this. He said, "You know what, son? My job was to ultimately raise you and nurture you. I'm not a perfect person, but your job is to be better than me." And I tell my kids, be better than me. So as
Yeah.
Americans, as people here in America, our job is to make it better. There's definitely things that are wrong, things that need to be fixed, but we need to work on it and make it better. The idea that we have though is a near perfect one. And what we have to do is like try to understand why is that true? Why is what I'm saying true? Because you can't do this anywhere else. Where on the face of the planet can you do this?
Nowhere. And I say this all the time. If we lose this republic, because that's what we are, we're a constitutional republic where everyone's supposed to be equal under the law. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter if you're rich. It doesn't matter if you're poor. You have Lady Justice, right?
Hmm.
She's blindfolded, meaning she can't see, and carries a set of scales in one hand and a sword in the other, totally blindfolded. Like this is literally the place, the last place left on Earth where you can truly pursue life, liberty, and happiness. And we're supposed to all completely be judged equally. We're supposed to have the rights to be secure in our facts, our papers. The right to keep and bear arms shall not infringe. Like these are not just little like bygones. Like oh wow, ho hum, it's an old piece of parchment paper. No, no. This being alive and well today, these pieces of parchment paper are the only thing that keeps America different than the rest of the world. And if we lose this experiment on self-governance, we'll probably never get it back. Maybe like in
No.
1,000 years, but we'll never get it back.
Yeah, the world won't look the way that it is now. I mean, we won't know if we get it back. We won't know. Here's what I mean. That probably sounds a little crazy to you, but have you ever thought about this? Like, how old is this planet? We were just talking about how long we've counted time, right?
I
How
don't
old is
even know how.
Yeah, how old is this planet? How many civilizations have lived here and completely disappeared and become dust and ashes, and we don't even know about them? And then another
Right.
civilization pops up and comes, like, gets technology and leaves the planet and does all that and then disappears and then go, like,
Yeah.
how many times have we gone through that cycle? You know? And I think in America, if we squander what we have here and we don't figure out how to make this better and move forward, then that's what it's going to be. It won't be anything that we recognize, and it won't be here, and it'll have to get reset to zero. And maybe the people who are here understand and appreciate that, and maybe they don't. Maybe it happens somewhere else in the world, if it happens at all.
And we don't want that. And like we said earlier when we first started off, I believe the former vice president, all these people in government, look, they're Republicans and Democrats for a lot of it. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they're trying to make us just feel so bombarded and overwhelmed. But I don't think the topic we're talking about should be taken as like something bad. Actually, this is like beautiful stuff we're talking about that to me should put smiles on people's faces and give you a reason to wake up in the morning. What do
Mm-hmm.
you think?
I think so too, man. I don't feel like we said this, I think, earlier. This none of this stuff makes me depressed.
No.
Okay, it doesn't. There's a lot of bad things that happen for sure, right? Like for you and I as YouTubers, there's like entire corporations and all that their whole mission is to suppress the things that we say, all that kind of stuff. But it doesn't make me
Yes.
depressed because in another country, someone would just come and scoop us up, and we would disappear. In China, that we were talking about, you and I
Yeah.
would be while we're still alive, we'll be talking in the slave mine somewhere.
We'd be making Apple iPhones somewhere,
Yeah,
eating
and
rice rations.
yeah, I mean, it will be worse than that, man. It will be worse than that. Literally on the Mulan movie. I remember when the Mulan movie came out, and I've never seen the movie, but I remember this whole controversy that came up because in the end of the movie, they're thanking this group that's literally in a part of China where they're enslaving people.
Yeah.
And so if you in places like China and other places on the face of the planet, North Korea, lots of other places like that, Russia for that matter, if you disagree with the government, someone comes and visits you, you disappear, you're off somewhere and you die out there a slave,
Yeah.
beaten and suppressed. At least here in America, no matter what they do, for now, we can still keep pushing and fighting back. Is that forever? I don't know, man.
Well, and that's why we can't give up our guns, because you look at it, there's all these patterns. And I think if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it, right? So you've got, all right, Biden literally saying, are you coming for their guns? He says, bingo, if it's an assault weapon. Then he goes to define assault weapon to mean 99% of the guns we all carry. It's like, if they sit there and enact all these communist laws, we could just find ourselves getting closer and closer. That's why we have a good fight we have to keep up every day.
Yeah. What is this? That car says, Hank, for the love of God, check IG. What am I supposed to be checking IG for? Hold on. Let's see. You're on Instagram, right? So let me first. Hold on. I'm gonna share my search window here with everyone. Let's see. So.
So Zach Carr,
Huh?
I guess Zach Carr made something, right?
Yeah, maybe. I'm gonna see. Tell us. Okay, it's gonna take a little while here. I'm searching for 2A EDU.
It's not regular 2A EDU. I don't know if it's like underscore or something over there.
Oh, is it an underscore? Okay, hold on. Maybe that's what.
It might be.
2A. Oh, here it goes. Right here. So that's 2A EDU right there. What is this you have on Instagram? There we go.
That's my friend at the local gun shop.
Oh, very nice, very nice. I'm talking about what is that gun? Oh, Desert Eagle, is that?
That's a Desert Eagle.
Yep, very nice. Okay, there's you. Boom.
Yeah,
All right.
that was actually when I had just gone and fought for 2A sanctuary counties in Michigan.
Oh, cool. Okay. What's this?
Yes.
What is this Chinese flag, American flag? What is this?
Well, like I said, sometimes, and I think it's good for us to call it out, sometimes you hear stuff being said by our leaders, and you're like, did
You
that
wonder.
just come from China?
Yeah. Some cool pictures on there. So I would recommend everyone go check that out. So now let me see. What am I supposed to be? I think Zach Carr is from Toxic Patches, right?
Toxic Patch Co.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Toxic Patch Co. He says.
Right. Okay. So there's supposed to be a message here. Let me see if I can get it to load. Oh. Oh boy.
Thanks, Victor Miller. Oh, geez. Oh, Pete, look at that.
Oh boy.
Dude. If there was some way for me to look like that, oh, dude, my man.
Oh, that looks good, huh? That is a
my
sexy.
wife would be so jealous. I think
That
she's
is a
watching right now.
sexy beast right there. That is a
Wow.
sexy. Look at that stash, bro.
Dude.
Look at that. You know, I mean, I want this guy to mow my lawn. Well, hold on a second. Wait. Don't take that wrong.
My price is just doubled when I look
No
like
double,
that.
no double entendres.
No double entendre, but the prices just went up.
Oh, that's
$100
funny.
lawn mowing.
Wait,
minimum.
is this a patch already or something? I don't know. Okay,
I don't know.
he says Zach Carr said I made 2A EDU something special. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So toxic patch. Is this a patch? That's what I want to know.
I think it's just. It better not be a patch.
Is this officially a patch? Who wants this? Well, first of all, this is gonna be kind of difficult. There's a lot of colors in here. This should at least be a sticker. Look at that.
If John
man,
Crump's
that's
still
awesome.
in here, Crump is not allowed to put that on Black Swan.
Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
That is.
that's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. That's cool. Hank, what is this? TPC says there's another one, Hank, in your IG email.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So listen, you were. Let's see.
I'm just looking at all these good people. What's up, Tree Guy? Flying
Yeah.
Rich.
Yeah. Kathleen Music Lover says that's so wrong. No, that's not wrong. That's cool. I like that.
Look, we got to have a little fun sometimes.
You're not offended by that, right?
Dude, I thought it was funny. I mean,
You
here's
gotta
my
put that
new
on
one.
a T-shirt, man. Oh, let me see. Oh, boy.
We call Susan the CEO of YouTube. I
Susan
call
Wiki
her
Wiki.
Susan Wiki Wiki. That's who we're all answering to on here every day.
Yeah, Susan Witwicky. Wait,
Yeah.
Witwicky. Why do I know that name, Witwicky?
It's like Wojcicki Wiki or something. I can't pronounce it, so
No, you know what? Witwicky is the name of a character, I think, in Transformers. The guy.
is that
the
what
kid,
it is?
Yeah, the kid in Transformers, his name was something Witwicky.
Okay.
Yeah, was Susan Wiki. Okay, let's see that. So where can people get that from?
Right now, they can't get it anywhere. I'm trying to negotiate with Black Swan Tactical.
Oh, so this is what? This is the only one that's out there?
No, I have a stack of them. I just don't have my own private merch store.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Remember when you said earlier you've got like Haiti, and then you've got like the British Petroleum and the U.S. and all these big conglomerates just using them?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm like the little island, and Black Swan Tactical's the one that's like the, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, the colonizer.
They're the big. Oh, he's a big conglomerate.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't let John Crump conglomerate on you, man. Yeah. Wait, hold on. Let's see. He gave us some more money here. Let's see.
Money, 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 money.
He says, "Get that patch on Black Swan Tactical. Pre-sale is live."
It is.
Oh, boy.
Oh, that patch? No, not the mullet patch, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know about the mullet patch. I'm guessing. What are you talking about, John? Which one are you talking about?
See that little 3 dot tank? You can hide user from channel. It's called.
Oh, hi, John.
We can stop.
Do you want him to start calling my phone?
Oh boy.
John has resources. He says, "Send it and we will sell it." Yeah,
I know. John Crump has resources. All of a sudden, poof, your dog's just gone in the middle of the night.
Yeah. No, John's a cool dude, man. He's a cool dude.
Oh man.
He's for a long time, John Crump was was my secret. Then the world found out about him. Now everyone goes to John Crump. Can't even get
I
him to
found out
return
about
my
him
calls.
Well, I've been watching him on this exact channel for quite a while now, actually, and then I'd always go over to Ammo Land every morning. What's going on at Ammo Land? And
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So let's see here. Do you have any other questions? Do folks out there have questions? Do you? Well, how should we do this here? Do you guys have some questions for 2A EDU? What do you guys want to know?
Some of my
Yeah.
viewers might be wondering. My business is Weather. I put out a post for the new Yugo M90.
Mhm.
Okay. And I just put
Mhm.
out a community post. It was at the local gun shop today. I couldn't pick it up, but tomorrow I'm
Mhm.
going to get that. So, all of you looking for that new Serbian M90 5.56
Mhm.
rifle, I'm definitely going to be having that on here really soon.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
I gave them all a teaser.
Oh boy. All right. Interesting. Interesting. Um, let's see what. So, what's your other interest outside of gun? That's a question for me while I'm waiting for people to come up with something here. Outside of guns, what interest do you have? You know, that the
Well,
folks don't know about.
there's guns, okay, but outside of that, more guns. Now, look, I own a small business, which basically means my business owns me. So,
Hmm.
really, I mean, I do enjoy my work though. So, besides out there doing all my own work, there's really not
Hmm.
time for many hobbies, to be honest with you.
Okay. Do you have a lot of employees? A couple of employees? How is that?
I have basically almost nothing now. It's basically just me because there's a system set up in this country right now where you can
Hmm.
get almost $700 by
Hmm.
not working. For
Hmm.
any reason whatsoever, you can just
Hmm.
say, I'm scared of the flu or whatever. I'm trying not to use certain hot words on here, you know. You're
Hmm.
afraid of this, whatever it's called.
Hmm.
And you can make almost $700 between the state of Michigan and the federal government. Well, you could probably guess that it's pretty hard for a landscape laborer to make that or much more than that. So
Hmm.
I'm just trying to make the best of it, man. Working for my best customers I like the most, having to turn down 9 out of 10 jobs because nobody will work. Like Uncle Sugar, you know, is just keeping them
Hmm.
too fat and happy sitting in their mom's basement right now.
Oh man, that's it sucks to hear that, man. But it's happening. That's the story all over the country. I
I
mean,
know.
wow. Like when I go past when you go past like McDonald's and McDonald's can't hire anyone and they're giving away phones and signing bonuses for someone, it's like what the hell's going on?
I was talking to someone the other day, but can you give me a hand? He's like, well, hold on. McDonald's is up to, and I know every state's different. I don't know Florida versus
Mhm.
here, but
Mhm.
this is a lot for Michigan. They're like, man, McDonald's is up to 14 an hour starting, and
Mhm.
they'll give me like $250. They're like, you're gonna give me $250 to fill out an app? And I'm like, well, not really. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. It's tough. Do you think we're gonna like hit a recession soon? And if so, when?
Yes, I do. I believe we're in a state of hyperinflation, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
Not giving any financial advice, guys, but man, I think right now I'm pretty happy just, investing in stuff like this. I think this is actually gonna ammo, the guns themselves,
Mhm.
I think are pretty good investments. I'm worried about the US dollar. I don't just
Oh,
cut
that's. I
grass.
mean, that's toasted. That's toast. There's no way you can't keep giving away money like this. This is. I mean, America gives away money from time to time, but this.
Well,
And you know what's the
this is
other?
insane.
Yeah, the other thing that's pretty bad is like I don't think people. So there's a situation right now where if you're a renter under these COVID restrictions or laws or whatever, you cannot be evicted. And I think the
Yeah.
Supreme Court recently upheld that in something. Now, the thing that no one is thinking about is not everyone out there renting houses or apartments are cajillionaires or even millionaires. There's a lot of middle class people who believe that real estate is the best investment and they've bought
Yeah.
a house or something like that that they're renting to people and now they cannot evict those people and they still have to pay their mortgages. At some point we're going to run into that wall.
We are, and if the roof leaks, you've got to get in there and put some shingles on it still. I mean,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
crazy, man. I was just talking to a friend of mine that's in construction, and he's like, "Man, did you go into Sherwin-Williams? That's the
Mhm.
paint store.
Mhm.
Half the shelf's empty." I'm like, "Yeah, well, I was just at Lowe's earlier, and half the black iron pipe. I mean, you're talking wood tripled in value. Half
Mhm.
the black iron plumbing pipe, the natural gas pipe's gone.
Mhm.
The paint's gone.
Mhm.
It's kind of crazy around here right now.
At some point
Really,
we're running into that wall. I think my best guess to say is that if it happens soon, it's going to be by the end of the year. We're going to run
I,
smack
I
into that.
I hate to be doom and gloom, but I think you're right. I mean, you should at least prepare for it. And
Yeah, just be
look, this is
prepared.
just,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I'm not a wealthy person. People shouldn't listen to me, but I like having a little bit of this. A viewer
Hmm.
of mine here in Michigan, we met at a 2A rally, and he gave me this. This is an ounce of sterling silver,
Nice.
or
Hmm.
0.999 silver. Sorry, pure silver.
Hmm.
I trust this more than the US dollar, but at the end of the day, I can't eat this. I mean,
No.
really, you can't eat silver or gold, but I could catch myself something to eat with this.
Yeah, you can defend
So,
yourself with that. You could trade that. So yeah, think about this. We're coming
possibly
to that.
fend off a tyrant with it.
Yeah, and if you already have ammo, I suggest you stock up on some canned goods. you know, um, do some things so that if all of a sudden, like, you run into it, that you have some kind of like emergency space of like, okay, for this time, I could take care of myself, because everyone's not going to run into that at the same time.
I
So,
agree, and I kind of like what you're doing too. You're kind of hedging your bets. You've got the hacienda. Never
mhm,
been there, guys, but I've seen enough videos. Beautiful
yeah.
place that you've worked hard for, and you guys should
Mhm,
be proud of. You've also got this van, though. You could kind of do the boot, scoot, and boogie, and you could venture over to the town that might have a little more food, and you kind
mhm.
of hedging your bets a little bit there too.
Yeah, if it gets that bad. I mean, the big thing, the reason why I got the van was I didn't want to keep paying to rent office space, not knowing what was going to happen, and or what
Sure.
rules I would have to be under. And then at the same time, I didn't like what was going on in America with airplanes, right? Or the airline companies.
Yeah.
So I didn't want them to limit me. I think one of my philosophies is that, you know, one of the big ways that they're going to try to stop us, like we've already seen them going after us communicating with each other and social media platforms and stuff like that. We've already seen them going after money things, like
Of
PayPal,
course.
for example, banned me because I'm a gun guy. They banned me for life. But a big thing is us actually being able to get together. If they can cut us off where they can go, "Oh, you can't go here," it's a big thing. And I think this is one of the things that, like, I was on an airline and they're like, yeah, if you don't wear this mask, not only will we kick you off this flight, you'll never fly on this airline ever again. We'll ban you for life. And I was like, what's happening? you know?
There's been stuff happen in the last year that I thought I would never ever see.
Hmm.
It's just crazy. And if you think about it, these founding fathers, that again, they were just striving for a more perfect union. They just wanted a better place than they had before. They had all their talks when they were formulating these documents and formulating their plan against the crown. They were
Hmm.
doing this in the taverns. They were doing these in the public square. Then all of a sudden, this whole last year, it's illegal to go to the tavern. It's illegal
Hmm.
to go to the, and if you do, you have to mask up.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes there's that little wink, wink, snicker of the corner of your mouth. We communicate all kinds of ways with each other, but it just made me feel like everyone was robots with the
Hmm.
masks on, and you
Hmm.
couldn't go. And
Hmm.
is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's kind of like the three C's, congregation or community, like, which means us physically getting together. All right, communication. So that's
Yeah.
either by talking to each other by phones or on social media, and then commerce, us being able to buy and sell things to each other. These are the ways that they could stop anything, and it's not just me saying that, and it's not just now. Like as you just said, this is always. This is how they
I
shut
think
things
that's
down.
really smart. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to look out for that. We have to have you know, we have to have contingencies for what we're going to do about those kinds of things. So let me see. DLD After Dark says, ask him to talk about the underfolder behind him. Um, we got a couple of
It
minutes
makes,
here if you want to,
I just need to
is
do
this?
probably a standalone video. What makes it tough is in these streams, I can't touch, and it'd be
Hmm.
hard for me to really explain it too much without the ability to kind of show you guys. But
Hmm.
it's a very early Yugo, former Yugoslavia,
Hmm.
underfolder, milled.
Hmm.
Technically, not like a prototype, like there's only one that exists, but they put like hundreds of them out into service, and then they kind of. It's a very, very early Yugo AK, and it actually has an integral bolt hold open like an AR. Not in the
Hmm.
follower, but there's actually a mechanism built into the receiver.
Okay. Okay, very cool. Yeah, so at some point you'll either do a standalone video or figure a better way to get that up there,
It's
right?
just hard in the stream because I can't touch it.
Yes, and that's a big thing that sucks. I hate it myself. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, listen, we're running right into the 9 o'clock hour here, so I'm gonna get one more question in from William Cooper, and then we're gonna start wrapping up. He says, "Do you think the AFT will back off on braces and frames?"
Oh, that's a tough question.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I don't know. I want to say no. I want to say no. That's my answer. No, I don't think they will, but I hope they do.
Yeah, I don't think unless we change administrations here, we're gonna get these guys backing all the way off. Maybe it looks good that we might not get Chipman, but we're gonna get some other person that we're not gonna be happy about. So
Well, let me.
Mhm.
I can explain this real quick. So, GOA, they won a court case in the 6th Federal Circuit in Michigan that basically said you cannot use Chevron deference for something that has a potential criminal penalty. That's what they use to ban bump stocks. It's called Chevron deference, a Supreme Court ruling that says the agency has the ability to interpret a law beyond what the law actually says if there's any vagueness whatsoever. Now, there's a lot of opinion in here. The 6th Circuit overruled that and said you can't use Chevron. Now, that was a 3-judge panel. That went in our favor. Now they're hearing it en banc, which is like 14 judges. This court case is this important that it has to go our way, because if they rule that the Chevron deference, it's called, is unconstitutional to apply to guns and things like that, actually that'll end this whole brace redefinition of a firearm. All that'll be over. So actually this bump stock case right now in Western Michigan is where all of this is hinging on over the next 3, 4, whatever years of this administration.
Yeah, we really want to see what the Supreme Court does here. Well, not the Supreme Court, the en banc court, because if it doesn't go our way, it may wind up going to the Supreme Court. If it does go our way, it still may wind up going to the Supreme Court, I guess, unless the Supreme Court says no, that's the ruling, and we don't need to take it up. So yeah, it's a very unknowable thing. I think we do need to keep pushing and fighting back against all these kinds of things, and avoid the burnout, right? I think that's like the theme of all of this. Avoid the burnout and keep fighting, keep pushing back.
Because it's a good fight, and this is a battle of good versus evil, and good needs to prevail, and there's a lot of good people out here still.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, listen, man, this has been fun. We have to do this again. I know it's not easy because you're a very busy person, busy man. You've got things, you've got different fires, different irons and different fires, I should say. But I do appreciate you really, really taking the time, because I know it's not an easy thing for you to do. And it's been fun. So I hope it's been fun for you also.
Oh, absolutely, dude. We had fun and just kind of goofing off, which was nice for a change of pace. And I think we talked about some pretty deep stuff. And I just want to say thanks to you, man. I've been a fan. I've admired you. I've liked you for a long time, and to sit and
that's cool, man. That's it's touching. It's always nice, man, to know that there's folks out there who appreciate what we've done here. The work that Lola, myself, and so many other people have put into this. So I really do appreciate it.
And you have, man. And you're one of the legends here on GunTube, and I just want to thank all my viewers, man, because, like, literally me, I'm like a nobody, and now I'm literally getting to hang out with Hank Strange. Like, are you kidding me? So
you're a big somebody, man. We appreciate you. So here's what I'm going to do. We're not over yet. I'm going to run in the end. We're going to come back. 2A EDU is going to leave us with his words of wisdom. I'm going to remind you guys, go check out, okay? You want to check out Tactical. Here it goes. Where is it? Tactical Freesh. Hold on. Here, let me just share this real quick for everyone. Tactical Freesh right here.
Oh boy.
Check those guys out, okay? You're going to hear more from them here coming up. Big thanks to Barnauls as well. I'm going to run in the end. Big thanks for everyone that's out there. All the folks who came over from 2A EDU. We really enjoyed you guys coming over here. Thanks so much. Make sure everyone smashes the thumbs ups before you get out of here. Literally six more thumbs ups that you guys could do right now, and we'll get to 100 thumbs ups, which is a big deal. And I'm telling you, man, you're doing something good, because I know you do your live and you get like thousands of people, man. That's got to be awesome, considering that, you know, the algorithm's working against you. So, you know, don't judge yourself by like everyone else's numbers. You are doing a really good job with what you're doing. I just wanted to make sure that I said that to you. You know, it's better than you realize, man. Remember, you're working under a tremendous amount of pressure. So
that means a lot coming from you. Thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's do this. I'm gonna run in the end. We're gonna come back and you're gonna hit us with the words of wisdom. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please make sure you smash those thumbs ups and ring the bell. And also check out US Law Shield. We've got links that you guys can find. You can save some money, as well as send some money in our direction. You know, lots of folks out there thanking us. I appreciate all you guys. So, 2A-EDU, what words of wisdom do you have to leave the folks with tonight?
Look, guys, the most beautiful thing ever, and it's super simple. I want to encourage you guys with this, okay? You're all endowed by your Creator with certain unalienable rights, and amongst these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And if you have those, that's all you're ever going to need. So just cherish that and fight for it.
Amen, amen. And we got 100 thumbs ups. Thanks to you guys. Thanks to 2A-EDU. Please go follow him if you're not already following him. Check out the channel. Thanks so much, man. Stay right there. Okay, guys, we're out. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Thanks, guys.